Day 975. It's 9:37 p.m. Just got home from church. It's Monday. Did my morning call this morning. We're going over the blood of Jesus, which is super powerful. Yeah, that was good. And then I went back to sleep because didn't get enough sleep at all. I really got to start going to bed earlier, but it's hard because I am at church Monday night, Wednesday night, and Thursday night. I'm there for the new believers class on Monday night. I'm there for prayer night on Wednesday night, and I'm there for the discipleship group on Thursday night. And so I don't get home until like 9:30 or 10. And so it's just like, man, it's like I have to go straight to bed when I get home. So I got to figure that out because I can't keep waking up at 5:30 and then going back to sleep at 7 and then waking up later. Like I have to figure out how to get 8 hours of sleep in a night, but I'll get there. I'll figure it out. It's coming. But I went to the church today and worked from the church, which was good. I like working from the church. And then we did our new believers class, and man, there's so much that I have to teach. There's so much that I've learned, and there's so much conviction that I have and passion. And the guy who leads it, he was talking to one of our video guys at the church afterwards, and the video guy didn't know that I joined those classes, and he was like joking around, like, is he just distracting, like, and because he's just messing with me. And the leader was like, no, it's really good to have him. There's a lot of wisdom and fire, and he's like, he's new to his faith walk, so there's that fire that I had 20 years ago. And I'm just like, man, there's so many believers that talk about the fire they used to have, and I will never be that way. There's no chance. I will be more on fire in 20 years from now than I am now. And I'm going to steward that fire that is in me, that passion for Jesus and the truth. Like, I'm going to keep adding fuel to that fire. I'm going to keep adding logs on the fire and gasoline, and I'm going to turn this campfire into a forest fire. And I will live a life where I am more on fire for God each and every day. Like, I will not become a lukewarm believer. And God talks about how he hates a lukewarm believer. He will chew them up and spit them out. And so it's like, but it's just like, and I was talking to another guy before that who, he's like, man, I really appreciate your fire. I've been a believer my whole life. And it's just like, he doesn't have that fire. And it's just like, man, that's a scary thing, to be a believer and not be on fire for God. Like, whew. But I also understand you have to steward it. Like, you got to be obedient to God. You need to be looking for the testimonies. You got to be challenging yourself. I mean, it's to really like walk this journey of faith, and this journey of being on fire, and to keep the fire going. Like, you have to live life differently. You have to get out of your comfort zone. You have to do things that scare you. You have to take massive leaps of faith. You have to lean on God more than you lean on yourself or other people. You have to think differently. You got to talk differently. You got to feel differently. Like, you have to have different priorities. And so I can understand why most believers are not on fire for God. But it's hard for me to hear that people are not on fire for God. It's just like, whew. And I also understand they're used to it. They've grown up with it their whole lives. It's new to me. But I that's the thing, like, it's my job to keep it new to me. I never want it to be old to me. I never want it to be stale. Like, there's infinite wisdom in God. There's infinite realization in God. There's infinite revelation, infinite truth. And I feel like as long as you continue to seek that and make that one of your top priorities, God will never get comfortable or familiar or boring. And I think a lot of believers, they stop pursuing aggressively. And because it's just like, the more you pursue God, the more layers you realize, and the more it excites you and enlivens you and enlightens you. And man, it's the most incredible journey in the world. Why would you ever stop? Like, I don't get it. And I never want to get it. I have no intention of getting it. I will be on fire forever. And there's one person that I really look up to with that, which is John Bevere, because he's an old man now, and the fire and passion he has. He's like an excited little kid when he talks about God and the Bible, and it's just like, wow. And I remember I saw him speak at our church like a year and a half ago, and I had no clue who he was, but I was like, wow, that guy has energy, like, and he gives it all, like, it's all because of God. Like, I want to be like that when I'm his age, and I will be like that, if not more. I'm sure more. And so, yeah, that was just, I feel grateful that I have this fire. And it's interesting because one of the new believers that started coming to church, she was in that class, and she asked really good questions, um, and questions that are hard to ask. And she asked this question, like, I have this stuff from my old life, the music I listen to, and, these things and those things. And I'm just wondering, like, do I just get rid of it all and just like let it go, or do I like slowly do it? And I'm looking at the leader like, okay, let's see how he answers it. And he's so good. Like, he's so like gentle with his approach, and so non-combative, and just open-minded, and I really respect him a lot. Um and his answer was like great, and it was like, look at the conviction. Like, if God puts conviction in your heart, then yeah. um and I was just smiling because I'm like, I know my answer. And she looked over to me because I've been talking to her about like the new age stuff and all the stuff that I came from, and just giving her so much revelation. And so she keeps coming to me for questions, and her friends, and she just knows I'm gonna be really real. And I was smiling because I was like, if I was answering that question, it would be like, yep, get rid of all of it as soon as possible. Why would you delay it? Like, why would you delay your freedom? Why would you slowly walk out of prison when you can sprint out? And so afterwards, we talked, and I explained to her what's going on, because she's having panic attacks every night. And I was explaining to her, there's a spirit that is attacking you, spirit of fear, spirit of death, whatever it is, and that you are opening yourself up to that spirit. And you got to learn spiritual warfare. And unfortunately, you're not going to learn that at the church. Like, you got to go on that journey on your own, and you got to learn it. But this is spiritual warfare. And, they're not going to give you the realist answers that, because in church there's some fear of offending people, and that's just the reality. And so, but like, we need to hear the truth, not the sugar-coated truth, like the truth, because that's what's going to set us free. So I talked to her for like 30 minutes after, and just taught her a bunch, and she was taking notes, and I think it'll help her a lot. And after the conversation, she's like, wow, I feel so much lighter already. And so I was just like, yeah. And one of the ladies in the group came up and asked if she could join the Bible studies in the morning for Warriors of God and the classes. And I told her we'll schedule something next week. I don't know if she's really right for the group, but we'll see. But this other girl, I know she is. Like, it's just a matter of time before she will be a warrior of God. And yeah, I think God's just going to keep adding people to the group. So it was a good day. Yeah, my client, he's going to extend his coaching, and I'm going to teach him how to do the purpose coaching. And so I sent him the pricing for it yesterday, I think. And told him, like, if he wants to learn the group and the one-on-one coaching, it's $7,900. And he said, okay, he wants to do it. Can he split it over 3 payments? And so today, I told him he can, which would be amazing, because that's like $2,600 a month for the next 3 months, which would be amazing. So that means that when he makes that payment, he'll make it this week before Friday. My rent's due on Saturday. I officially have $8 in my checking account. Well, actually, one of the accounts is -10 because they charge a bank fee. So I actually have -$2 in my bank account, and cash, I've got about $25. So my phone is shut off. It's been shut off for a week, which really hasn't been that big of an issue. It's kind of nice, to be honest. And yeah, I got bills to pay. So it'll be really nice to get some money in. It'd be nice to be able to get some money in and keep some money in rather than it all going out to bills immediately. But you know what? If God provides, I'm not going to complain about it. So, yeah. Overall, a good day. So, yeah. But I got to figure out going to bed early. But I love going to the church and doing these things. I love the new believer class. I love the prayer night. I love the discipleship night. And I'm glad that they offer all this stuff now, because it wasn't a thing before, just the discipleship, and it was only online. So it's nice to just go there and yeah, it's just a matter of time before there's a whole section of warriors of God in that church. I can feel it. God's moving. So yeah, it's cool.